Cool, right. So, the weird one. I was with my partner, Keris, our eldest, Chloe, my eldest stepdaughter, Chloe, and I think it was either a family trip or it was with my sister. I can't remember. It was either Chloe's birthday and my sister was with us, or it was a family thing. I can't fully remember. But we were in Cadbury World.
Yes.
Have you heard of Cadbury World?
I think I've been.
Okay, right. So you know what I'm talking about then when I say
kind of fever dream, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Cadbury World is just like that's where they make Cadbury's chocolate, and it's also a factory tour, and you're going along and you find out the history of Cadbury, and it's all like animatronics, and it's all very cute. And they
I haven't been to that. I think at like Chessington World of Adventures they have a stall that's like made out of like plastic Cadbury's chocolate.
Oh,
and, like...
okay, right, okay.
So I haven't, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. So you can imagine what we're like. It's the original first. I think it's on the outskirts of London somewhere, Watford or something. I can't think, but wherever it is, we were there, and that's not like you bump into people in weird places all the time. We get there, and we're standing in the first room as they're telling, like, because they have like people in character telling you stories, and they're all dressed up, and they're like, oh, so where did the coffee beans, like the cocoa beans, come from, and everything. So they have these people dressed up, and they're characters, and they're like doing like history tour and stuff. The guy recognized me that was doing the tour, and he fucking lost character and everything. And I had to try and prop him back up. It's like, dude, ignore me. I'm not here. You're doing great. Keep going. It's fine. If you want me to, I can go away. It's fine. So that was weird. But then what was even weirder was that further on in the tour, there was a guy that was in front of us the entire time. Like there was, because you kind of went in a queue, like a little line. And then we got to a bit, and then the guy that was in front of us the entire time, just for whatever reason, decided to look behind. He went, oh my god, it's Caddicarus. So the guy that was in front of us the whole time knew who I was, and the guy that was supposed to be in character doing the tour of Cadbury World recognized me. That's the weird one. That was a fun time, though. The bad one. Okay, so this was at Too Many Games. I can't remember what year. I want to say 2017, but I could be wrong. And this was the first time that the whole family had been to the States. I'd been before, but it was the first time, and Keris had been before, but the kids hadn't been to the States before. So Philadelphia in the middle of the summer, pretty fucking muggy. But you know, it's America, and it's magical, and it's different, and it's like it's similar enough where you feel like I can get through this, but it's different enough where it's like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was a really fun experience. But they TMG flew us all out, and it was really kind of them to do that. But I was doing a panel, and they didn't expect the audience that I was going to pull to fill up the panel room. So they didn't get me an autographing table or anything. And that's you know, it's like, okay, it's your choice or whatever. I'm not going to take that as an offense of like, do you know how popular I am? I'm not going to do that. But like the problem came where I did my panel, and then we left the building, and then there was nowhere to funnel anybody. And the panel rooms are right next to the fucking entrance and exit, which is also the fire exit. So I'm standing in the middle of the lobby, basically, surrounded by a good four, like a ring of like 3 rows of people around me.
Like 4 people deep.
Yeah, like 3 people deep or so. And I couldn't get out, and we were all blocking up the entrances. It got to the point where security had to escort us out and said, look, if you're going to do this, can you do this outside? I was like, look, I'm not doing this on purpose. Like I'm not trying to like show off. Like I don't want this as much as you do, trust me. So, but before we got sent out, there was I managed to get everybody into like a kind of like this, so that everyone was kind of like in a radar shape in front of me. So no one was behind me, everyone was in front of me, I could see them. So I could do this. I could go one row, next row, next row, and move on. And I started from the left and moved my way over to the right. And there's this guy, and he's I'm not going to go into details on looks or anything, but suffice to say, anyone that's been to TMG probably knows who I'm talking about. But he's quite infamous because he goes there all the time. And you can smell him coming.
Okay.
And that's, you know, whatever. It's a gaming convention in the middle of summer in Philadelphia. It's gonna happen. That's not the problem, though. Very fucking rude. Very, very rude. And I was going from left to right, and he was on the end of this row. and I was going through, like, I was like, hi, how's it going? Shaking hands, signing stuff, getting a couple of pictures, even though it was a bit awkward. And then every time I got to like the second to last person, so he'd be the two people away, I got there, I'd be like, hi, how's it going? And then audibly, he'd go, oh, come on! And the funny thing was, I then figured, you know what? I've dealt with like young children before. I know you're a grown man, but I've dealt with children before, and they've done worse than this. So I looked at him like a puzzle boss in a From Software game. He was the bed of chaos. And it wasn't about how hard is the boss to beat and how much should I dodge and how much should I attack. It's what is the secret trick to beating him, and then I can get him done very fast. He was the bed of chaos of convention guests. So he was there, and every time without fail, I'd get to there, and then he'd go, oh, come on, yeah. So I was like, okay. Every time he did that, I ignored him and went straight back to the beginning of the next row. And then I went to the second row. Did everybody? I was like, okay. Hey, everybody. And then on the third time, he finally got the message. And, like, you know, it's great to meet the fans and everything anyway. But then when we finally got to him, I think it finally got to his head, oh, maybe being a brat isn't the way to do this.
Sure.
He said hi and everything. I was like, oh, how's it going and everything. And then he gave me a game which was sticky. And then he left.
A game which was sticky.
A game which was sticky.
Do you mean like physically sticky?
Physically sticky.
Sticky from what?
Wank. I don't know. I don't want to know. I won't say what the game is, and I won't go into any more detail about the person because people.
It was sticky, and he's infamous.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, and that's all you've got to say, really.